Reflection. Yes. We had mentioned it to this Islander too. Because it was tall, but he said it was too much glare on this.
I know, that's what he said too.
I couldn't argue with it.
We could put a hat.
I could go to my office.
Yeah. Really?
But it's just, it's old flag.
Oh, it's the oldest.
Yeah, but it looks old. I almost want to wear that.
Well, I thought about it.
The mother in her. The mother in her.
Wait.
There should be.
Have you ever seen?
Testing, 1, 2. Testing. Any more? Testing, 1, 2. Great.
Put David down there.
Yeah,
Hanging out on the wall.
Dave.
I know.
You,
I'm short.
I don't know, yeah, and we weren't gonna let you.
John has a suit too. John is like a chef. Look at, he has a suit hanging.
Chipped over. Silver. We'll put Patty in between you two.
Okay.
In the middle. Yep. That's good.
I feel a little bit too me in the middle, exposed. Man in the middle?
Emily will be there, Robert will be there, we're
Okay.
gonna fill in some.
Oh, good.
Okay, how's that? Okay. Sitting there.
Where's the other man with the seat? John?
I know.
What's up
I'm
with the
quite
seat?
tall. I always get stuck in the back, yeah, quite tall.
The critic.
They are. They are. So, both Sean and Kathy, pulled, and they're both. What?
I'm gonna go see Emily upstairs.
Okay, and then bring her up, yeah. Thank you. We'll wait for you. So they can bring. Yeah. He's bringing a sweat. Yeah, I expect that he is, right?
Yep.
I told Emily we would wait until Jack came out to she'll be here shortly. So Emily is coming right upstairs and we'll get started. Hey, everybody. So anybody from the DMV who wants to stand at the front, may. But if you don't want, no pressure. Oh my gosh, it's so great to see everybody. And you're gonna get that with us too, Lynn, right?
No, that was so much excitement.
Look at these suits. Oh my goodness. Here's the leadership team putting this together. So grateful. Yeah. All right, and here's Emily. All right. She'll be right here. Yeah. We're going to show the. Okay, those are yours. Good morning, everyone. I am so excited to have all of you here today on this very exciting day. And I'm pleased to be joined by members of the Department of Secretary of State, the Bureau of Motor Vehicles, Maine State Archives.
Can you give us
And I'd
a
like to
quick
thank
description
two
about
people in particular
the notches on the hammer and the
that
different hammer
started with the
positions?
unveil.
Yes, so as you would cock this hammer,
He was working in 2020 as a nationally recognized expert at the American Association of Motor Vehicle Administrators, AMVA, when I recruited her to come home to Maine to head the Bureau of Motor Vehicles. I had run on a platform of technology modernization to better serve the people of Maine. You've been at some ribbon cuttings for some of those innovations. And I needed someone of her caliber to lead the Bureau of Motor Vehicles. Kathy said yes on one condition. You know, anytime you make a job offer and someone says on one condition, you kind of hold your breath. So I did. Until she explained that she really thought Maine needed a new license plate for safety reasons. I agreed. It was something that we could tackle in my second term, and she's done an extraordinary job leading this effort. So I'd like to have a quick round of applause for Kathy Curtis. My second thank you goes to members of the legislature, and it's a Monday, so most of them are not in Augusta, but especially members of the Transportation Committee who worked closely with me and the team to review various designs and select the finalist. But we couldn't have done this all without our bill sponsor, Representative Lynn Williams of Bar Harbor, actually championed the legislation as the lead sponsor of the license plate bill, which passed unanimously in the legislature, a testament of how things can happen in Augusta when people work together. So round of applause for Lynn Williams. So there's going to be one final thank you and one final very important round of applause. And this is a really important one. You can't have a new license plate design without an artist. And we have been very fortunate to collaborate professionally with 3M. And I know Steve Edwards is here, and we are really appreciative of that partnership. And we also have some very talented people, incredibly talented people at the Department of Secretary of State, including the employee who designed the license plate itself. Mary Cadis, can we have a round of applause for Mary? Her license plate design is a donation to the state of Maine that will endure, and we are grateful for. Now, one thing I've learned in my time as Secretary of State, Mainers love their license plates. While some might think of license plates as decoration or a way to show Maine pride, the ultimate purpose of a license plate itself is for vehicle identification to ensure public safety on our roads and highways. Damaged or worn out plates, and you've seen them if you start checking them out, increase risks to the general public, whether it's lack of visibility at night or in a snowstorm, due to loss of the plate's retroreflectivity over time. Additionally, worn out plates harm law enforcement's ability to be effective when handling crimes that could be prevented or solved through the identification of the license plates. Moreover, we've heard from the Maine Turnpike Authority about their inability to collect fees due to plates that cannot always be read by the license plate readers. Maine has had a number of different license plate designs over time. And if you haven't seen them on your way out, we have an extraordinary display downstairs of the historical license plates of the state of Maine. The display actually won a National AMVA Award for motor vehicles display. And it was done by our imaging specialist, Peter Mallow, who's in the back of the room. Maine has had a number of different license plates over time, but the Chickadee plate is one of the longest and is now almost 25 years old. Once you start checking out license plates on the roadway, you will see that it is very common to see license plates that have deteriorated significantly, some beyond all recognition. You might ask, why don't we just give people with peeling or faded Chickadee plates a new one? Well, we can and do issue those on a case-by-case basis upon request, You can imagine that while law-abiding citizens would gladly take a new plate, scofflaws and criminals would just assume that their plate couldn't be identified by a toll reader or a surveillance camera. Public safety is the #1 reason that we're retiring the chickadee plate and replacing it with a pine tree plate today. But we also love the new design. The new plate is a modern adaptation of the original 1901 Maine state flag. It contains the Maine's official state tree, the eastern white pine, and the North Star, 2 images also contained in the Maine state seal. The pine tree was an early symbol of New England, often viewed as referencing the tree of peace, as well as New England's and certainly Maine's timber economy. Colonists used the pine symbol commonly on coins and flags throughout the 17th and 18th centuries. Leading up to the Revolutionary War, the pine tree became a symbol of colonial ire and resistance. Records were not maintained documenting why the 1901 flag of the state of Maine was replaced with the select flag you see today in 1909. But the design elements that tie the two together are the pine tree and the North Star. Following in the tradition of the original 1901 Maine state flag and the Maine state seal on the modern flag, the new license plate design is comprised of the pine tree and the North Star. And we're also, and this is very important, I hope you will show your viewers, we're also unveiling today a plain plate design, a classic plate that has no design at all for those who prefer to keep it simple. The new pine tree plate is a fresh approach to a classic design rooted in Maine history. Issuing a new license plate for more than 900,000 vehicles on Maine roads is a huge logistical project with a lot of planning. We couldn't do it without the incredible teamwork at the Bureau of Motor Vehicles, and our leadership team is behind me, led by Deputy Secretary of State, Kathy Curtis. I'd like to invite Kathy to share some additional information about the rollout of the new plate.
Thank you. Good morning, and thank you for joining us in the unveiling of the new pine tree plate. I'm Kathy Curtis, Deputy Secretary of State for the Bureau of Motor Vehicles. To begin, I want to give my sincere and deep appreciation to everyone involved in this monumental task. Our core team is comprised of about 20 people who have committed themselves to the success of this new plate issue project. Many of them are in the room today. The project also consists of BMV employees as well as municipal officials. It includes a handful of us who worked on the new plate issue in 1999, and we are very fortunate to have that institutional knowledge to guide us. I want to recognize Nikki Batchelder, Beverly Campbell, Jill Harrison, Dave LaChance for their leadership efforts in this project. To make the plate replacement process as simple and accessible as possible to all Mainers, many organizations and individuals have come together. 80% of our registrations are performed in town offices. Therefore, these offices are pivotal in providing Maine with the pine tree state plate. We've had close cooperation with the BMV and the town offices. We've held events like listening sessions where 150 participants from all over the state provided us with some much needed feedback. We have worked with 3M and Waldale Manufacturing to ensure that we have the volume of license plates needed for this distribution. And they've been wonderful partners with vast experience. While our work is far from over, we are grateful for the partnerships that we have. Now, the safety of Maine citizens is one of our highest priorities here at the Bureau of Motor Vehicles. That's the root reason for this new plate design. Current standard issue chickadee plate has been in use in Maine for almost 25 years. And as Secretary Bellows showed you, many plates have deteriorated beyond recognition, and they're creating a public safety issue. The ability for law enforcement, tolling authorities, and the citizens to identify license plates quickly and easily is essential, especially in crashes or serious crimes. Older plates lose their retroreflectivity. That's the extra shiny appearance of the plates as they age, making them less visible at night and in poor weather conditions. We will replace about 900,000 plates between May of 2025 and May of 2026. It should be noted that Mainers with a specialty plate like the loon plate, the sportsman's plate, the agricultural plate will not be impacted. Those plates will not be replaced unless, of course, the registrant requests a pine tree plate when they renew. Mainers who want to reserve their current plate numbers for display on the new pine tree plate, including plates like vanity plates or low digit plates, or just a plate that means something specific to the individual, will be able to later this spring. They'll be able to make these reservations at the Bureau of Motor Vehicle branch offices and on our website. Further updates and timelines will be available in the coming months. As Secretary of State Bellows mentioned, when considering what represented our state and its people, we reached into our history. The pine tree plate is inspired by our first official flag from 1901, featuring the green pine tree and the blue North Star. In addition to the pine tree plate, we're also offering a plate without the tree and star design for drivers that want a simple, clean design. Though I should note this simple, clean design will only be available on the passenger plates, but that's about 800,000 of those plates. Together, these two plates are a step forward for road safety. It has been a great pleasure to be involved in this process and to see the contributions of so many come together to achieve a common goal. Once more, I thank you for attending this unveiling. I again want to give my highest gratitude and recognition to everyone involved in this tremendous undertaking. While there's much to be done, we've made great progress so far. Thank you.
So now for the big reveal. Mary, Robert, can you do the honors of revealing the cards?
We do one at a time.
Yes.
So that the cameras can get each shot.
Okay, and this is the pine tree?
Yes.
Mary, do the honors, please. And Robert, the classic design, please. Oh, the commercial one. These two plates will be a tremendous step forward for public safety for our state. We are proud to unveil both the pine tree plate and the classic plate for Mainers in years to come. Now, we're happy to take any questions that if you might have them. So we have the.
I have one, Secretary.
Yes, absolutely.
I own a chickpea plate today. I'm wondering when I'm going to need to get rid of what I currently own to swap out.
So it will be very easy for Mainers to be able to replace the chickadee plate. Starting in 2025, when Mainers go to register their vehicle, they will be issued a replacement plate. Now they can return their old chickadee plate and we will be recycling those chickadee plates because they're made of aluminum, which is highly recyclable. If they want to reserve their specific number or vanity plate, we will be putting forward an online reservation system later this spring. We will definitely invite all of you for the rollout of that reservation system, and Mainers will be able to reserve their numbers. Is there anything further you'd like to share? Okay.
So Secretary Bellows, you mentioned about 800,000 passenger vehicles. What's the full number of vehicles that will be that will have to get new plates here?
About 900,000 plates will be replaced. The additional 100,000 includes commercial plates, hire vehicles, farm vehicles, very specific types of vehicles along those lines.
So even the ones with personalized plates, those would replace as well. So.
The specialty plates will not. So the loom plate, the sportsman's plate, the veteran's plate, the animal welfare plate, the lighthouse plate, those plates will remain the same. So any Mainer that has what's called a specialty plate, like the sportsman's plate or the loom plate or a veteran's plate, will keep their existing plates. Mainers who have a chickadee plate will now have a choice of the pine tree plate or the classic plate. And it will be automatic when they go to register their vehicle in 2025, starting in the spring of 2025. They will automatically be issued a new plate with their registration stickers, and we will be accepting their old chickadee plate for recycling purposes. By the end of 2026, every Mainer who had a chickadee plate will have a new plate. And if they don't, that means they didn't register their vehicle.
So hypothetical question, what if someone does have like a vanity plate or reserves their number, but just, you know, when they get the new plate, they just stick it aside, they put their registration stickers on their old chickadee plate. What would I guess maybe the penalty be for that?
Just as we have retired the lobster plate, the plain black and white license plate from my childhood, over time, when we replace a new plate, the new plate is required to be displayed. Now, the legislature has authorized 2 really beautiful designs, and those with a chickadee plate can certainly keep a plate for posterity's sake in their barn or their home if they really want a memento of their chickadee plate, but they must display the new plate on their vehicles when it is issued to them upon their renewal of registration starting in the spring of 2025.
But if they don't, would that be just a fine? Would it be a Class C crime? What would the punishment be, I guess, for that?
So I can get back to you on that because actually the legislature did adjust the registration laws when in the last session we were part of that overhaul of what the fines and violations are. It's gradual. So certainly if you forget to register your plate and you go for a few months on the road and you get stopped by law enforcement, you're most likely going to get a warning because we want you to be in compliance. People are not seeking to punish you. So all law-abiding citizens will have the opportunity to choose which of these plates that they would like to request for the reissuance starting in 2025. Now, I will note in the last reissuance, when Maine did a reissuance, we did raise several $100,000. I can get you the exact figure. Emily can get you the exact figure because there were a number of people who had been skating by without registering their plates in hopes that law enforcement would never notice that their stickers were out of date. One of the positive consequences of a license plate reissuance is that it often increases registration to nearly universal registration and increases revenue to the state. I will also note that replacement of the standard plate will be at no cost to the citizenry.
The plate itself, what are the colors on there? And also, did you choose white to make it more, the background to make it more visible? And are the letters bigger?
The letters are the same size. The contrast is important for the plate to, the numbers and letters to really pop out. So yes, it has a lighter background for the contrast. It's a blue, the numbers and letters will be blue, and the Maine and Vacation Land are in the same green that appears in the tree.
Any other questions? Great. Well, thanks everyone. We're really excited about it. This is coming soon in May 1st of 2025 is when the plate will be coming, but we will be unveiling the system for registering for license plates this spring, also May 1st.
About that time.
On or about. So we'll let you know when it's time for reservations for existing plate numbers. That process will take about a year, and then we'll be issuing the new plates. We have already issued the RFP award, so we're working with the company Waldale that is manufacturing and producing the plates, and this phenomenal team behind me involved in every aspect of license plate manufacture, production, distribution, branch services will be overseeing the plate issuance. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you.